Episode 229, Edward Out of Service. Edward is one of the oldest engines on the island of Sodor, but sadly, because of his age, he ended up making a few mistakes. And today he had accidentally made a mistake by accidentally stopping on the switch track, which caused Splatter to crash into it when Splatter and Dodge were heading out for a job. Arry and Bert were nearby, and they couldn't help but laugh at Edward's mistake. Edward felt very upset and embarrassed, and he puffed away quickly. Later that day, Edward was resting at Tidma's sheds when Gator pulled up to him. "Had a rough day, Edward? I can tell you feel embarrassed." "Yes," said Edward. "It all started when I stopped at that signal, but I stopped in the wrong place, causing Splatter and Dodge to crash into my log cars, and I ended up making a complete fool out of myself in front of Arry and Bert, and they laughed at me." Just after Edward said that, Arry and Bert came by. "Look, it's the old engine who caused Splatter and Dodge to have an accident. Heh, he should be retired." "Gator, you gotta help me get back at those two." Gator thought for a moment. Then an idea flew into his funnel. "I've got an idea, but it will have to cause you making a mistake again, Edward." "Well, just tell me the rest of your plan." And with that, Gator told Edward the rest of his plan. The plan was set into motion, and Edward raced down the track. Up ahead, the points were set against him, and Edward flew off the track. "Oops," said Edward. "My mistake." Gator pulled up with Rocky. "Well, I'll have this mess cleaned up in no time, but someone has to do your work while you're away, Edward." He then turned to Arry and Bert. You're looking at us." "Well, okay, we'll get started right away." And with that, Arry and Bert got to work handling Edward's jobs. So, while Edward was being repaired, Arry and Bert had to do his work, but they couldn't help the trains from being heavy, and this caused them to be late. They tried with one of them going in the front, one of them going in the back, and both of them trying to go in the middle, but it was no use. "Man," said Bert, "how come Edward is such a hard-working and strong engine?" "I guess we'll never know," said Arry. Just then they saw Toby. "Oh, hi, Toby," panted Bert. "Can you help us?" "Yeah," said Arry, "we need help." "Sorry, you two, but I have my own job. See ya." Groaned Bert. And they set off to their destination, hoping Edward would come back soon so they could apologize to him. Later on, Edward had returned from his repairs, and Arry and Bert were happy to see him. "Edward, can you please take over this job again? It's too much for me and Bert." "Indeed," said Bert. "Well, only if you two say sorry for making fun of my mistake." "We will, we promise. We're sorry, Edward. We'll never make fun of your mistakes again." "Good," said Edward, giving a smile. Gator's plan had worked, and Arry and Bert have learned not to be so mean and pick on Edward for his mistakes again.